Hello everyone, welcome to another video on the 3 stocks series, and today we'll be talking about the stocks that have shown a remarkable turnaround from a time of extremely poor performance to a period where the business is now showing signs of recovery and, more importantly, stability in their future outlook. So let us take a look at these stocks. The first stock is Subex, which has a current market price of 48 rupees. Now, before we discuss that, let us take a look at their share price, at their historical share price of the company. It got listed in 2003, and from 2003 to 2007, the business showed great potential of growth from a level of 200 to a high of 750. Now, Subex started as a telecom company, and it was one of the fastest growing telecom company in the market. Their fraud detection products gained a lot of traction in the market, and that is why the business performance was extremely good, with the share price jumping almost 4x in 4 years. Now, the next 2 years were a period where the share price virtually collapsed from 750 to only 20 rupees. That's a 97-98% destruction of the wealth. Now, why it happened was at the period of 2007, Subex started acquiring a lot of companies. Some of those companies were even acquired at an all cash deal, which means Subex had to borrow money from the market in order to acquire those companies, which is why Subex started to record a lot of debt on its books. Unfortunately for them, that was also a period where the global financial crisis of 2008 took place. Now you combine these two prospects, and it proved to be a very disastrous situation for the company. The next 10 years for Subex were where the stock price continued to remain in single digits with absolutely no signs, no signals of growth. This was a period again where the debt spiraled out of control. The founders took exit from the company, and they were just not able to record any signs of profits in the near future. Now, the next 3 years, Subex worked extremely hard. They got rid of their entire debt in 2018, and the last one and a half year, the business seems to be on the path of recovery. The share price has now jumped to 50 rupees from close to 3, 4, 5 rupees that it was on for the past multiple years, and now they've been able to achieve it on the back of technology, which has now been moving at a very rapid pace. Their debt has gone. They have started to venture into new markets where the growth potential is high. Their products have started to gain traction in the market, and that is why the performance has started to improve, and that is now reflected in their stock price as well. So if you look at this complete chart, you'll get to understand why from 2003 to 2007, the phase was of a wealth generation, wealth building phase, where the stock price jumped to 4x. The next 2 years was a period of intense wealth destruction. For the next 10 years, nothing happened to the wealth, which I call a wealth stagnation phase. Even with the stock price not moving, that was a very bad signal for the investors, because with the inflation rising year on year, the stock price just did not budge at all. So inflation would eat up into all the money that the investors have put in. But for the last 2 years, which I now call the turnaround phase, the stock price seems to have shown signs of recovery. Now, if you look at this complete analysis, am I saying that you should now put all your money in this particular stock? No. Am I suggesting that this stock will again reach to the level of 750 as in 2007? Absolutely not. But am I suggesting that this business has now moved to stability and it has the potential to reach to 100 odd levels in the upcoming years? A big yes to that. So this is how the summary of Subex looks like, and this is the turnaround story of Subex. Now let us take a look at the next stock, which is HFCL Limited, which has a current market price of 55 rupees. Now, if you look at their share performance, the historical share performance, the early 2000s was a wealth building phase. The stock jumped to close to 2000, but soon it collapsed to double digits or single digit numbers in the next 2 years, and the next 20 years were absolutely flat. No signs of improvement, no signs of growth. Now you might be wondering, if I call this video as a turnaround video, turnaround stocks video, where exactly is the turnaround happening? And I relate to what you're saying. The turnaround that I'm referring to is now visible to you. Now, It's not very evident from this chart, which is why I want you to look at the chart below, which is a 1 year chart. The stock price jumped from 20 rupees in November 2020 to close to 80 rupees in July and August, and now trending at close to 60 odd rupees. Now this is where the business has shown signs of recovery, and I'll now come to why the business has turned around by this much. Now HFCL is a company that's a manufacturer of optical cables and optical fibers. So it was a case of being at the right place at the right time for HFCL. There was an extreme surge in demand of broadband equipment, and that's happening because virtually everything is now moved to the remote mode. Businesses have started to operate completely online, which is why there was a sudden surge in demand for their optical cables, optical fibers, and that's why they're kind of showing this turnaround. HFCL has now set up PM Wani Village, which means they're providing internet, exclusive internet to some villages, and they have already done that for 2 villages in the country. They have appointed Beetle as its national distributor, and the best positive sign for the firm is that they have an order book of 6,875 crores, which means the next 2 to 3 years look very bright for HFCL in terms of the order book. They have already got orders worth 6,800 crores, and that's why I feel that this stock has the potential to even be a multi-bagger in the long run. This stock has also gained a lot of media attention, which you can now see in the slides, and that's why I am all the more confident of this being a turnaround and continuing on this current trajectory. Okay, so the third stock is Tata Steel BSL with a current market price of 88. First, let us take a look at their historical stock performance. From 2006 to 2015, the business seemed to be on the growth path, but from 2015, the business just collapsed. There was no movement in their stock price, and that's because their debt started to spiral up. Now, the turnaround that I'm referring to is visible in the last 1.5 year, which is now visible to you in the chart. Now, this company was named Bhushan Steel, and it was a debt-laden company in the past 5 to 6 years. But in the past 1.5 year, they have been acquired by Tata Steel, and there's now a possibility that they could also be merged with Tata Steel. Now, the best positive sign for them is that the steel sector in general is being re-rated by the market, which means that steel sector is likely to show a lot of growth in the upcoming years, and that is also evident from the fact that Tata Steel has shown a 4x share price growth in the past 1 year itself. That's a 300% growth in 1 year. I mean, very few stocks would give that, and Tata Steel is one of those stocks which is fundamentally strong. Now, a company like Tata Steel BSL, if acquired by Tata Steel, has a potential to grow by leaps and bounds in the time to come. Alright, so these were the 3 stocks that we discussed today: Subex, Tata Steel BSL and HFCL Limited, which have shown a turnaround story in the past 1.5 to 2 years. So that was it from my end. Thanks for watching the video. For more of such quality content, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you.